excellence. This is what happens when we elect public servants and don't tell them what to do for us. Voting is not the end. It is just the beginning.
How market? My country people, how market? How market now on our Munge program to showcase Luna different markets where boku for markets all over Lagos, whether na clothes, home appliances, electronics, provisions, foodstuff, and any type of goods where you find. Name am, how market na the show for una. You go fit know where dem dey sell am and how much dem dey sell am. And if you be market seller and you dey find program to showcase your products, goods and services, na how market be the show for you o. Join us every Wednesday by 7:30 p.m. on your Obonge Station for Excellence, NTA Lagos Channel 10. For more inquiries, make una call. We dey ready for.
Owó mélòó ló ní tó fọmọ Ìjẹ̀bú like what is your account balance?
Kí ló ń dín? Kí là ń tẹ̀lé tó àtàtà ó yá kájọ kọ́kọ́ o. Àǹtí Àríkẹ́, Títí Chioma, Àǹtí Àmínà, ẹ wá kájọ jẹ gbádùn kí là ń tẹ̀.
Gẹ́gẹ́ bí oúnjẹ ìlú mi, gẹ́gẹ́ bí original ọmọ Ọ̀ṣun pé ẹ̀fọ́ rírò ló máa wà mẹ́. Ṣé ìgbà tí bá sọ̀rọ̀ pé kò ní
kí là ń tẹ̀lé tó àtàtà ó yá kájọ kọ́kọ́ o. Àní kí là ń tẹ̀.
You are watching NTA, Nigerian Television Authority. For more information and news updates, visit our website at www.nta.ng, or you can follow us on Twitter at NTA News Now, or you can like us on Facebook at NTA Network News. Stay connected on our YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/NTA News Online. Watch our live stream at www.nta.ng/live. NTA, you can't beat the rich.
Good evening and thanks for joining us on NTA Lagos Channel 10 News at 7. A review of stories that made round during the week. But first, the story of the day. I am Musa Toliat. Many thanks for joining us. The Lagos State government is fine-tuning a pilot initiative aimed at addressing estimated bidding in power sector with a view to ensuring easy access to uninterrupted energy across the state. Deputy Governor Obafemi Hamzat disclosed this when he received senior executive + 45 participants of the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies at the State House in Lagos. The report.
Having gone around the state to gather relevant data on Lagos State government's exploit in industrialization, energy security, and climate change mitigation, it was time for the NIPS Senior Executive Course for the 5 participants to meet the governor as they round off their study group tour.
We have 7 groups from Sec 44, 2023, Sec 45, 2023, visiting other parts of Nigeria. And we have a group in Kano, we have a group in Yobe, we have one in Edo, we have in Niger, we have in Akura, Igbo, and we also have in the States.
We have had a very good time, both in the area of resting first and in the area of harvesting of data. And I want to put in record that all the resource persons that were selected by the Lagos State government to interact with us, we found out that there are square pegs in square holes.
Deputy Governor Oba Hamzat, who represented the governor, shared the aspiration of the state in achieving cleaner energy and industrialization with a Sec 45 group study.
We are hopeful that we'll be able to do that. So what we are doing in Lagos right now is to stop this bidding that don't just happen at people. It's not what people do. So that we are starting in Ademasha, for example, we are the ones supplying. But if people actually know that this is what they do, they'll be willing to take. When you just have a transformer and say, this is the transformer, and just share the price, you are not being fair to the customers. So that's the estimated bidding. So that's what we are trying to stop.
The Senior Executive Course 45 participants of the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies are expected to submit a detailed report to the presidency on their findings to aid policy formulation in industrialization, energy security, and climate change mitigation in Lagos.
JAMB will not relent in its effort to sanitize the nation's public examination sector. Sequel to report by a committee on inquiry set up by Anambra State government as demanded by some Nigerians to look into the Mesoma saga, the report has vindicated the board. A statement signed by the board head of Public Affairs and Protocol, Dr. Fabian Benjamin, says the incident has further reinforced the position of the board that its system was not and cannot be compromised, adding that the board has built a reputation in terms of conduct of credible examinations over the years and cannot afford to fail the nation at this critical juncture of this development. The board further appealed to well-meaning Nigerians who may wish to support and encourage healthy competition by awarding scholarships and other honors to deserving candidates, not to be discouraged, but also verify from the board any claim, no matter how innocuous, put forward by candidates. The board also said the age of the candidate right as available data gives her age as 19 as against 16 years old. JAMB commends Anambra State government for its patriotism and unbiased posture through the national challenging period and congratulates Ms. Ume Kamsuyo Chukwu Nkechimiri as the best scorer in the 2023 UTME exercise. Meanwhile, Mr. Romanius Ejikeme, Mesoma's father, has tendered unreserved apologies to JAMB and Nigerians at large. He says his daughter actually lied to him initially.
They have to commission the international.
Okay. So now that your daughter, Mesoma, has owned up that she manipulated her result, what do you have to say? What's your take?
As I said earlier, my daughter didn't open up to me on time. Didn't. When I realized the mistake she did, I blame my daughter. I suspect my daughter this kind. Because President Mesoma, be careful, you know that it's Nigerians to pardon. You give her pardon.
The 2023 Nigerian Meteorological Agency NIMET prediction has revealed that Lagos will experience an average to slightly above average rainfall amount and season length, which will start in April and cease in December. Well, the rains have since begun, and with it, flooding is
constructed to ensure that wastewater and sewage are transported neatly to disposable points, thereby keeping the environment well drained and free of waste. Unfortunately, it has been observed that systems are the order of the day in our society, as many streets are faced with the challenge of lack of drainages or poorly designed drainages.
When you're trying to construct a drainage system, you should be able to make sure the system, you construct in a way that there will be massive flood due to heavy flood or heavy rain come, so that there won't be blockage. So make it deep inside, also make it wider.
They have to put something like always a basket on the way, so that people put it there, so that the rain can have a place now to flow.
Another major challenge is the indiscriminate dumping of refuse by residents in drainages, thereby preventing the flow of water, causing the gutters to overflow.
Drainage system in Lagos is extremely poor, very, very poor to my own view, because most places have been littered with nylons everywhere. Even the market women, everybody do pour the gate into the people sweeping and put inside gutter. The Lagos water take away water with some marketing people said to. When they sweep, they'll be putting everything inside water. So I think when they have discipline, all these things will not happen.
It has been concluded that there's a need for a change of attitude by residents and properly manage sustainable drainage systems to help manage surface water disposal. These measures, it is expected, will mitigate against any future occurrence of flooding. In Lagos, Ntami Egbe, NTA News.
It's now time to take news that made the headlines during the week. Lagos State government is working on regulatory framework that will encourage private sector participation with a view to providing safe water and attaining desirable level of sanitation and hygiene across the metropolis. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu disclosed this at the 2023 International Water Conference organized by the Lagos State Water Regulatory Commission. The report.
Poor waste disposal and environmental degradation have negative consequences on provision of clean water to residents of any given society. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, who was represented by his deputy, Obafemi Hamzat, told the gathering that the state is coming up with a sustainable regulatory framework that will set clear standards, define roles and responsibilities of stakeholders in achieving water security and hygiene across the metropolis.
It is therefore crucial that we get in front of this issue and come up with sustainable strategies that will provide safe water and good sanitation and ensure better hygiene for the people of our state. Our administration is committed to providing easy access to safe water and hygiene, of course, not just because it is expected of us, but because we know that it is fundamental to human survival. And as a matter of fact, it's a right and it falls within our welfare policy for the state.
Our goal is to highlight and unravel the dimensions and intricacies of the challenges of sanitation delivery in Lagos, the fastest growing megacity in Africa, with almost 40% of Lagosians not having access to decent toilets.
Lagos State government is collaborating with the Federal Ministry of Water Resources to address the challenges posed by the increasing demand for clean water and proper sanitation infrastructure.
The Federal Ministry of Water Resources is honored and it remains committed to supporting initiatives that promote sustainable water management, sanitation and hygiene in Lagos and beyond. Let us therefore seize this opportunity to chart a course towards a brighter and more sustainable future.
The theme of the Lagos International Water Conference is Accelerating Sanitation and Hygiene in a Mega City, Regulation and Innovation. In Lagos,
time now to take
Accelerating Sanitation and Hygiene in a Mega City, Regulation and Innovation. In Lagos,
time now to take a quick break. When we come back, we shall be going to our discussion segment, which will focus on waste disposal and management. To stay with us.
Jackpot of the week. Place bets and hit the jackpot. Log into the OneXBet account. Click on the Take Part button. Place bet and take part in the jackpot draw. Feel like a winner with OneXBet. Use promo code to get a bonus on your first deposit. TRS Promotions, in collaboration with Ratau Lagos State Council and Lagos State Sports Commission, present.
I think you day every time you get a boss, you have to play draft. Every time you and Sadiq, now soon I'm going to disturb me for backyard. You don't reach now. The first Lagos State International Draft Competition game don't start.
The first prize is 3 million.
Don't reach now. The first Lagos State International Draft Competition game don't start.
The first prize is 3 million naira. The second prize 2 million naira, and the third prize is 1 million naira.
No shout too much. Making neighbor no here. You better run now. Go take your own ticket now. Go buy your own now. Now just 3,000 naira.
To purchase your ticket, go to www.windraftgame.com or directly from all local government areas in Lagos State, Aria Ticket, and many other ticket agencies. TRS, join the fun.
Rocket Spring from OneXBet. Take part in promotion with cool prizes. Bet on any sports events. Get tickets. Have a chance to win cool prizes. The more you bet, the greater your chances. Use promo code to get a welcome bonus right now.
You're welcome back to NTA Lagos Talented News at 7, and it's now a discussion segment on the news. And we shall be focusing on community efforts to prevent indiscriminate waste disposal. I have in the studio a safety and emergency response ready ambassador, Mr. Wilson Aripo. Mr. Aripo, you're welcome to the news at 7.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Okay, we shall be taking a look at waste disposal, how to do it the proper way. Sometimes people talk about proper waste disposal, and that probably it's not a problem. But when it becomes indiscriminate, probably that's a problem. So what should we be looking at when we talk about proper waste disposal?
Thank you very much, like I said, for having me. Like you said, really, to dispose of waste seems to be a very simple thing for most people. And I think it has become a thing of a cultural thing for us in Nigeria. It's a big problem that's facing us as individuals and even the government itself. I know the government at different levels are trying to put in place structures that will regulate the proper disposal of waste in our society. But as it is right now, there is no conscious, you agree with me, I don't know about other places, in Lagos and places I've gone around in Nigeria, there's no conscious orientation right now for how people should dispose their waste. You have waste management agency, they are doing their job, but you know, if you go around Lagos, you'll see indiscriminate disposal of waste. You have places where you dump waste. These things are just common knowledge to us, like I said. You have waste along the road. At times, it's very repulsive, and you know, to the sight of people in a community like ours, which is so well developed. And as safety professionals, we always go on in the advocacy continuously. In fact, these ones we are talking about now are just the elementary aspect of waste disposal. Okay. The things that people ought to know properly. You go along the road, you see young people, even students come back from schools, they are eating things and just throw it off like that. Nobody seems to care. Nobody is correcting anybody. And when you do, they look at you like you are doing too much. Then it goes on to adults. You're driving your car. You see a man driving a good car, a posh car. You think he should be educated enough or enlightened enough, you know, by his looks. But he winds down his glass and throws a bottle of, or like a bottle of mineral
out of the car
onto the road.
Okay, let's look at, are there particular factors that are actually encouraging this indiscriminate disposal of our waste?
Naturally so. Like I said, it seems to, I don't want to call it a cultural thing, but I think enforcement of laws are not very, very, very strict anymore. You were around in these days of, I don't want to also go back like the military is the best or something. No. In those days of the military, when we had the war against indiscipline, you know, you there, we got an orientation which was very good for the people, you know, minus the curious thing. You wouldn't dare drop a piece of paper on the road. You know, if you did that, somebody, you know, will tap you and say, please pick it up. It was a wonderful time we had that time. You know, they must tap you to pick up the waste you have just dropped. So everybody was conscious. You put things. Now, I think the law is still there, where even commercial bus drivers were expected to put like a waste bin inside their cars, their vehicles. So that even if a passenger is in there, you eat anything, you drop it inside. I've not gone to the major issues of segregated waste in the first instance. Let's talk about the general waste. You know, a piece of paper, a piece of tissue, then you go to the more complex ones like nylon, you know, the polythene bags and the stuff we have, and then the plastic bottles everywhere. Those ones are even worse, if you ask me, because they don't, you know, disintegrate easily. You know, it's just there. It will last in the earth, on the ground there, or in the ground for so many years without even dissolving. Let me use, you know, yes, I should just use
create more problems.
You know, a layman's language. And then we're talking about flooding, as it were, because it interrelates, as it were. You have the world talking of climate change and the effects of, you know, the climate change, the high volumes of rainfall, like Nimet has told us, and of course, and if you go along the street, you see blocked drainages. I'm already going to the effects of these things, as it were.
Those are part of the implications.
Yeah, the implications definitely. But talk about the law.
Those are part of the implications.
Yeah, the implications definitely. But talk about the law. They are enabling laws. Who is enforcing them? For instance, people begin to be very complacent when you have to know that I dump my waste here. I expect the enforcement agency, or which is the enforcement, okay, implementing agency, to come and remove the waste before I wake up in the morning. And so you are there 3, 4, 5 days, nothing is removed. It's there. The place begins to stink, and nobody seems to care. The local government office is just nearby there, and nobody seems to be powerless. If the agencies cannot move waste on time, how will individuals feel like there's a sense of urgency to move waste? This is a clarion call to the government. We're not talking of enforcing things and beating people and arresting people, because we do that a lot in this part of the world.
But they probably need to create deterrence.
Yeah, deterrence, but you must first understand what you call advocacy. You know, yes, what is the orientation agency for? How many people? Okay, are you going to arrest a young boy, a young child, a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, come back from school strutting, you know? Child, a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, come back from school strutting, you know? It takes maybe an ice cream or buys chin-chin, and of course, it throws it away on the road, just like that. But if, even from the schools, they are told what it means to keep waste properly. I saw a video of children in Japan, you know, right in their schools. They teach them how to, the importance of proper waste disposal, as it were. You know, so, and during the World Cup in Qatar recently, I mean, the news went round. All the Japanese people who were there made it their duty to go about picking waste in the stadium right after the matches were over.
So we need to catch them young.
Very young, in fact, at more tender ages, before they begin to go crazy with the rest of the ideas. I agree with you. Because that's what I say, even in the schools, are those things taught? Few schools, I've visited, you know, so many places, and some few schools have got at least proper systems. You know, if you enter an environment, like I came in here, I was quite impressed. When I came in here, if it's not right, I will say the way it is. You know me, I'm good. I know. You know, I came in here and I was impressed. The environment is clean. It's nice driving in here. But driving up to this place, from the Tejo Show axis to this point, of course, it's a market space. The old road, though tarred, so it made the difference now, but littered with so much of waste. If you're walking around that area, if you want to drop a piece of paper, you won't have a sense of guilt. What's the council doing? What are the market associations doing?
So it looks like business as usual.
It's business as usual. I mean, you want to drop something. As a matter of fact, if you're moving now and you have a paper to drop, and you move along the road, tell me the truth. If you see a bit of heap of dirt, won't you drop it there?
You're encouraged to do so.
Yeah, of course you drop it there. I mean, you won't feel guilt. But if it's all clean and tidy, you know, what are you paying the highway managers for? They keep cleaning the place, sweeping the place every time, and you come the next time, somebody is dropped. If you keep doing that, it will be like trying to drain the ocean with your cup, you know, with a glass.
Okay. As we wind up, let's just quickly talk about enforcement. Of course, a lot of people have said there's been some level of enforcement, but there's no sustained enforcement.
Because there's no sustained advocacy. Enforcement is the last resort.
So where there's no sustained advocacy, sustained enforcement cannot.
Will be definitely difficult to achieve, because if you don't know what, I keep telling my people, if I have not taught you, I will not blame you. You are imagining that people should know. And that's why I went out to children. You know, in their homes, they don't know how to segregate. Okay, if I ask us here, even on air right now, how many of us understand what it means to segregate waste?
Okay.
Do you know you should not put,
on that should also happen?
Very important.
As well as catching them young.
You should not put your bottle and your battery and paper in the same bin, for instance.
All right.
They talk of medical waste. You can't put them in the same place.
All right.
You know,
I wish you would go on with Mr. Aripo. That's how much time will permit us on the news. We want to sincerely thank you for coming on the news at 7. I'm sure we'll still have more time to invite you on the news to talk more on safety of the environment. Yeah, we've been talking to Mr. Wilson Aripo, Safety and Emergency Response Ready Ambassador. It's nice coming.
Of the World Safety Organization, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
Thank you for having me. I will come with the team from the World Safety Organization. Maybe if you ask us to come and talk, because we are continuously doing that.
All right. We'll map out time for that.
It's all right.
On the news at 7. Many thanks for coming on the news at 7.
Thank you very much.
Moving on to entertainment news. Starboy Wizkid stole the show again at the Rolling Loud Festival 2023 held in Munich, Germany. This and more as we join Halima Salah in the world of entertainment.
As the headliner for the first day of the 3-day festival, which kicked off on Friday, July 7, 2023, Wizkid wowed the audience with some of his greatest hits, from Azonto to One Dance, Back to Me, Samba, Song of Life, and many more. The singer had the crowd on their feet, dancing and singing along to every beat. For the audience and Wizkid fans, it was a night of pure energy and excitement. Meanwhile, Davido was the highlight of the day in Texas, as the singer thrilled fans at his timeless concert and also brought a special guest artist on the stage. What an unforgettable night it was for all the fans who packed the Toyota Center to the brim for Davido's timeless concert. What an unforgettable night it was for all the fans who packed the Toyota Center to the brim for Davido's timeless concert. The energy in the air was palpable as the Nigerian artist took to belting out some of his biggest hits to the delight of the crowd. From Aye to Over Them and many more, Davido's discography is nothing but an endless collection of chart-topping tunes, and he had no problem delivering them flawlessly. But that wasn't all. As a surprise for the crowd, Davido brought out Mayokun, one of the artists he signed under his record label, Davido Music Worldwide. Together, the duo performed their latest hit collaboration, The Best, sending fans into a frenzy. No one expected the Holy Father Corona to make an appearance, so it was a pleasant surprise for everyone. Mayokun was, however, not the only surprise artist Davido brought on stage, as singer Casey also thrilled with his viral song. Still on entertainment, Olamide is a monumental force and an important figure in Afrobeat. His hitmaker status and capacity as a label boss earned him the love of millions of fans and the respect and admiration of colleagues. As his upcoming album draws close, Olamide has taken to his Instagram account to tease an unreleased single. In the video posted in the early hours of July 6, 2023, the superstar rapper was rapping along to an unreleased rap record that packed his trademark rhymes and staggering delivery. And that's it on entertainment news. I am Halima Salah.
Up next is Sports Update with Peter Oyibo.
The president of Nigerian National League side, FC1 Rocket of Edet, and member of NFF board, Use Ezen, has bemoaned the inability of his club to secure promotion to the Nigerian Premier League at the end of the NLS Super 8 in Asaba Delta State.
Unfortunately, that we wouldn't get the mark we wanted. It's a pity, it's a shame that we've let our supporters down. We've let ourselves down because we came with high hopes, with high expectations. But man proposes, God disposes. It's not what we bargained for. But I can assure our fans, yes, we appreciate your support, and we will come back very, very strong by September. We promise you that we'll do better and we'll get promoted. Where we made mistakes, yes, we realized them and we're going to beef them up.
Meanwhile, Nigerian female volleyball team on Friday continued with the Nations Volleyball Championship Zone 3 in Miami, Niger Republic. Nigeria recorded their second win after defeating the host 3-0, 25-4, 25-11, 25-4 on Friday, after they defeated Ghana in their first game on 3-0, 25-11, 25-15, 25-8. For the girls' head coach, Rekia Muhammad, the team will go out against Benin Republic in their next match. In tennis, reigning champion Novak Djokovic defeated old rival Stan Wawrinka to reach the last 16 of men's single at Wimbledon. Djokovic won 3-6, 6-1, 7-6, 7-5 on Friday. Carlos Alcaraz and Djokovic are the top seed and could meet in the final on 16 July. And finally, all is set for former unified heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua as he faced Dillian Whyte on 12th August 2023 in a match fight in London before facing Deontay Wilder in December. The British-Nigerian boxer is, however, working hard to regain his lost glory by learning a new training method from his coach, Derek James, ahead of the fight. And for many, the pressure will be on Joshua's shoulders as the outcome will determine next month's Saudi Arabia fight with Deontay Wilder, having suffered successive defeats to Alexander Usyk before picking up a victory over Jamie Franklin in April this year. With sports update, Peter Oibo, NTA News.
Well, on that sporting note, we call it a wrap on NTA Lagos Channel 10 News at 7, and of course, where we track the news that made the rounds during the week. Many thanks to Musa Tolia. Good evening.
Thank you.